Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Astro Colony with Lone Debater 7, and today we're going to catch you up on what we've done. So as you can see here, we have kind of reconfigured the base a little bit, expanded it, made it a little bit better. So I went ahead and removed the railings and the floors from this. I can't actually remove these yet because they are locked. I can't build foundation, so I can't remove them. Same thing with the stairs. Can't build them yet, so I can't remove them. Same thing with the railings. You have to research a technology to be able to remove them. I got that tech, so I removed all the railings. I expanded the floor out a little bit to accommodate some more catchers and to add on this storage box. But since last time, not only have we expanded our catching capacity and power capacity, we've also put together the belt work required for basic tier automation to get all of the smelter recipes fully automated, as well as all of the constructor recipes. These guys are all automated at this point. We're prepared to do screws right away. We just have to get the technology for that to do electronic parts and carbon fiber. For carbon fiber, we need to get solar panels and be 100% on solar power, and then we can start doing this. For electronic parts, we need to get the manufacturer built and start doing the wire automation. But anyway, guys, so kind of let's run through this system. So our raw resources are catched out here. We get some asteroids coming in, and they're dumped onto this primary feed belt, which runs this way, runs into the system. It is split off right here to send one out of so it's a 5-way or a 1-to-4 ratio split. So 4 of our carbon ore continues along the belt, 1 carbon ore goes off this way to be fed into the smelter. The remaining 4 are then fed up this belt, and all of our carbon ore and ice cubes that are on the primary feed belt get pushed off to the secondary belt. All the remaining stuff on this belt goes into the smelter. The remaining being gold ore, copper ore, and iron ore. So that's how this portion works. That's pretty much the basic leg. You don't need this splitter right out the gate in order to do these 3 recipes. You do need that splitter in order to get iron rods automated, so that's why I have it in mind. Going off after the pusher onto this secondary branch, we go into an ice splitter, which has a splitter on it to push the ice in. I could use a pusher here, but eventually I'll probably double this up and put another icebreaker right here. So I just wanted to put the splitter in so I can just do that as opposed to needing to replace a block, place a block, all that noise. So ice goes into the icebreaker to make water, which then makes oxygen tanks from our oxygen generator. That's running our oxygen barrier. I'm probably not going to tap this particular generator. I mean, we've got a huge buildup, right? So we totally could, but I'm going to just leave it there so we have our barriers fed off of this singular generator. Will be perfect for the rest of the game now. On oxygen, as long as we're inside of a barrier field. So we just need to utilize the 2 gold and 4 iron wires every now and again to expand this radius if we want to, or if we are going to be in that area a lot, we'll expand the radius utilizing barriers, and they'll all feed from this one generator. So that's the ice portion. Continuing along is just carbon ore, and then we've got splitters that are perfectly splitting into these 4 carbon reactors. So the way you do this is on the primary feed for your carbon ore, at each reactor, the way you configure your splitter is you do 1 into the reactor you're feeding. So at this particular splitter, there's a reactor directly to the right, so we have 1 on the right, the middle, so the continuing feed, so whichever direction. If it's left, that's fine. If it's middle, that's fine. If it's right, that's fine. So adjust it depending on your directions, right, relative to the splitter block. But for my situation, the right-hand side is the reactor, so that has a 1. The middle or forward direction is the primary feed for carbon ore, so that has a 3. The reason why it has a 3 is there are 3 more reactors that have to be fed after this one. This guy, the second one, has 1 going to the right because it's on the right, 2 on the primary feed because we have 2 reactors left, and then this last one is just doing 1 to the right, 1 to the left. So 50-50 split of what's left. So this perfectly splits into all four. So if we look at this, 14, 13, 14, 12. So this one was added last. That's why it's a little bit lower. But pretty even distribution of our carbon ore across our reactors. If we want to add another one, it's as easy as doing this, connecting the power cables along the back, and then adjusting this splitter with the 1 there, adjusting this with a 4, and adjusting this with a 5, and that's it, and we're good if we want to expand power, which we will need to do at some point most likely. I mean, we've got a headroom of 5, so let's just go ahead and do that now, because I know we're going to need to in order to finish this. So adjust this for a 1, adjust this for a 4, because there's 4 in front of this, adjust this with a 5, because there's 5 in front of this. And this splitting mechanic works more than just for reactors. This works for literally any item that you're trying to split. So for example, on the output of our smelter, so this is just the basic input of raw resources. That's how it's sorted. That's the automation for it. If you were interested, that's how you do it. Moving on to what happens with the resources afterwards. So we've got iron bars, copper bars, gold bars, and we are getting iron rods. We'll cover that in a minute though, because it's separate. So initially you're going to have these 3 bars being generated from the ores that you're feeding, right? So what I am doing is I'm feeding the output of our smelter into a splitter that is doing a 50-50 split, half for production, half for storage. So this belt is feeding into our general storage container. Do that, resources, there we go. So now it's all sorted and all that goodness. So we've started compiling some resources. That's good because we're going to need them. I plan on kind of keeping this box as our general. I'm not going to pull out of this box in order to run production. Instead, since this is splitting our base resources in half anyway, what we can do is utilize that half split mechanic down the road to kind of make our production better. I'll show you what that means as we can continue to progress the series. We'll build it out together, and I'll talk about it as we do it. But anyway, so with half of our bars, our iron, copper, and gold bars, we send those into our constructor, which is turning them into iron, copper, and gold plates. You need these for future or further production. Once we unlock the technology for steel screws, we'll have iron rods coming in here, being turned into steel screws. On the output of the constructor, basically everything is being fed directly into our storage warehouse, along with half of our bars and rods is also going directly into the storage warehouse. The only exception is I've got a splitter here splitting our iron plates in half. So half go into the box, the other half are fed back along this belt and go in with the carbon ore in order to provide us with whatchamacallit, the iron rods. That's the name. That's the name. I'm adjusting these split ratios because we had 11 iron plates in here with 0 carbon ore. Now, of course, now we get some carbon ore in there, so it might have been fine the way it was. I'm going to try doing 2 into the box to 1 going into here. So in theory, we should end up with more iron plates in the box, which is kind of what we want because iron plates are used to build floor, they're used to build conveyor belts, they're used to build basically everything. So you need an abundance of iron plate. So anyway, that's kind of what we did, or what I did off cam since last time. I'm going to grab this gold asteroid real quick because we need a lot more gold than what we have currently in order to convert to solar power once we get the tech. Solar panels basically are built out of entirely gold, so you need a fair amount of gold to say the least in order to convert, because if you look at our grid right now, we're generating 50 power. We're only utilizing 35, so we really need 35 power generation, right, for our current system. Each solar panel only generates 1 power, so that's 35 solar panels. Each solar panel requires 3 gold wire. That is 15 plus 90, so 105 gold wire in order to build those panels. And then in addition to all of that gold wire, we also need or to make that gold wire, we need plates. So for 105 gold wire, we need golden plates. I believe it is 2 to 1, if I'm not mistaken. So we need 210 golden plates in order to build the solar panels required just to power what we currently have plugged into the system, mind you. That system is going to expand because I want to have at least 8 of these guys catching resources to feed it, because that should generate enough passive building material that we shouldn't have to worry about resource generation to continue constructing and expanding out our station, right? That's the plan. That's how I like to play this game. I like getting my building materials set straight and automated. That way I don't have to worry about crafting things in my bag in order to build the buildings I want to build. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the approach I'm taking. So yeah. The next thing we realistically need to get is the manufacturing center. That way we can start building wires automatically. Right now we have to make all of this wire by hand. Not ideal. There is a building that makes it. It is locked behind a tech called manufacturing right here. We've got 3. How much do we actually need? We need 4. We need 1 more. So we could actually do that right now. What are our other options? So chemistry, that's not worth it. Foundations is tempting because then we could clear out this giant island down here that's blocking a large chunk of real estate, but 15 science is quite expensive. We don't really need hydrogen yet. This is all for travel. I'm not worried about that quite yet. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's get manufacturing. So we need to generate some more engineering science. I do plan on automating out the sciences. Do not worry. Do not fret. That is in the plan. I just want to kind of manually do it for the time being, and we'll eventually integrate that into our process half of our station. So let's kind of give an overview of how I plan on building this out. So right now, we're working on our general resource required to build the building materials. So plates, bars, screws, and wires. That's what we're working on, right? So the next step, once we get that set up, so we have all the building materials that we're going to need, right? We are then going to utilize I'm just trying to squeeze this in. Give me a second, and I'll continue. Basically, once we have our building materials utilized, I'm going to duplicate the system on the other half of the station and utilize that specific half of production or resource gathering to do all of the advanced product building. And the initial 8 gatherers that we have set up right now are going to just fuel our crafting resource production. So what we're using to build with is just going to be done with this little chain right here. So it doesn't have to be super perfect on ratios and all that. I mean, being perfect on ratios is nice, but it is not an end-all be-all in my mind for this particular system. On the production into advanced products, 100% that is going to be ratioed because it's not that difficult to do, and I don't know, might as well, right? That's how I see it. So I'm just going to extend the floor out a little bit here. We are out of plates, so that is an issue because we need plates in order to build this stuff. We can't do gold wire yet. That's locked behind tech. So we need iron plates and copper plates. So the iron I can split off right here by just dropping another split direction and run it out this way. Or alternatively, actually I think that is the best way to do the iron. So we're going to bring it like this, and then we're going to bring it over this way because I need to put a filter block here for copper plates. I need more iron plate. Control right. There we go. Okay, let's just get the plates that we're going to need and build this line. So I am going to bring it this way. And this is just going to feed into our manufacturer. So what I'm going to do with this second one is put a filter, and that filter is going to be utilized to sort out the copper plates that we need and the gold plates that we need. Eventually we'll be making gold wire, so kind of like might as well. And honestly, what I could do instead is this is a 50, if I leave this as a 50-50, so straight and to the right, that is correct. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's doing the iron 50-50. Then what I could do off of that 50 is I could split that again and bring it out this way, or what may be my goal here is I don't want to draw from this line. Like if I want 50% going in here, I want 50% going in here. Yeah. Let's do it this way. I definitely need iron plate going that way. I don't need copper or anything else going that way. So let's do the iron plate right there. But as opposed to it coming in right here, we're going to adjust this just slightly. Ooh, that's a problem though because of this output. I guess we just won't utilize that output. And that's okay as well. I mean, we could maybe... I don't think that'll work, and that's fine. We don't need that particular one. This is just a storage box, so really we're just worried about the inputs. So now, what I can do is put a logic block, and we're going to use filters on each of these. Filter. This filter is going to be for iron plates exclusively, and we're also going to pull out screws. Iron plates and screws. That's what we're going to pull out of this particular one right there. Perfect. Out of this one, we're going to take copper, gold plate. Next, what I need is two splitters, one and one. This particular splitter is going to do a 50-50 of just iron plate. We don't need screws feeding back, just the iron plate. And actually, it's not doing a 50-50, it's doing a 33-33-33 because these iron plates are going to feed into the wire maker. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. Iron plate sorted. Screws sorted. That portion is done. Now we've got copper and gold plates. Now the way I want this to work is I want half going on to our wire machine and half going into our box. So I believe this will do just that, and it's fine utilizing that as a second input as opposed to trying to feed it back in. I could, as opposed to taking that, which actually looking at it, why not? Let's just show you. I could do it this way instead, and it'll work exactly the same. We're utilizing the same inputs. We've utilized an extra 4 tiles of conveyor belt, and we had to move 5 tiles of conveyor belt to do this, basically, in logic blocks, plus the buildings. Easy peasy, right? Easy peasy. Hopefully, watching me struggle bust that a little bit helped you. Now, kind of a cool part. We're going to bring our output in between the middle. And this output is going to go up. It's going to go like this. Actually, let's just run it in line, yeah? I think that's a little bit better. Oh. Shoot. I had a screw that slipped through, and that's fine. There's that. Okay, that's why everything stopped. It is all backed up in here. Not a big deal. We will throw our screw back in there. We're going to gather this gold. And then we'll double check that the manufacturer is actually doing what it's supposed to, making our wire and feeding it back to the box. Now we are going to get gold plates building up in there initially because we do not have the technology to make gold wire inside of the manufacturer yet. But we will get there quick enough. It shouldn't be too bad. Thought I maybe saw another yellow asteroid. Yes, I did. Perfect. Every little bit helps. I mean, we've got 10 gold bars and we've got some gold plates chilling, but we went over the maths on how many, uh, you know, gold plates and wires and such I'm going to need in order to actually convert to solar power in this particular playthrough. And yeah, it's significant. And it's even more now. We're up to 40 out of 50 power. So we're fully utilizing 4 of those reactors with the 5th one spare, which will get utilized because I want to double this out again. Oh, I forgot to finish building this because we ran out of iron plates. So what we'll do is we'll set this up, this level, boom, boom, and boom. Perfect. There we go. That is wires done, my friends. That is wires done. And what's cool about this particular setup, right, we're just storing a bunch of material, and maybe the ratios aren't perfect as far as, do I really need a huge, huge amount of wire going in here? The answer is probably no. Like, it's probably no. So what I could do, kind of avoid that issue, is I could adjust the ratios so I get 2 and 2, so 40 and 20, and only send 20% over to make the iron wire for us, right? And store more in the box and send more back for more rods to make more screws, which are generally a little bit, well, I mean, we've got 135 chilling, so they're not that big. I don't know. It's probably not an ideal or super perfect, optimized, out the wazoo build, but this is pretty much all the basic building materials automated with 3 production, or well, technically it's 5 production machines, so these 5 machines right here. So we've got the manufacturer to make wire, we got the constructor to make plates, we got the smelter to make bars and iron rods, we've got the icebreaker to make water, we've got the water going into an oxygen generator to make oxygen tanks, and we've got carbon going in to power the entire thing with carbon reactors. So this is a basic setup. What we are going to look at next time, because the episode's getting a little bit long here, or it feels about right to try to wrap things up. What I'm going to do is this is going to continue running, and we're going to dive into the next episode pretty much right away, so not a lot of off-cam time. I'm going to work on getting automation built for the lab, so we can start building these guys right here, engineering science, so we can start doing the tech tree really quick. In addition to that, I also want to work on expanding out our auto asteroid catchers for our personal building production, just so we can fill this box up that much quicker, and like we can splash 1,000 iron plates and it isn't even a thing. That's where I want to be at. I know that may sound like overkill. It is not. It is not. I promise it is not. You need so much of all of the basic resources, basic building materials, that it is worth the time to set up automation specifically dedicated to generate base building material like that. Now, I just pulled a bunch of iron and copper ingots. The ingots are not as big of a deal, so eventually this split ratio may get adjusted, so this is a 2 and this is a 1, just because I think the plates are going to be more valuable for us than the other things. What I could also do on this is adjust this ratio to process more plates. So I think I will do that, actually. Process more of the gold and copper plates than you store, because we really don't need 200 copper plates. Like, you use that for some of the farming buildings. Gold plates, I don't think have any use beyond being turned into gold wire. So this system may get adjusted. If I make adjustments, I'll keep you posted on it, kind of like we've done throughout the episode. That way, if you want to make the same adjustments, you can. But guys, we've kind of shown off what we've expanded on the base, shown off how to automate the base building material production loop inside of Astro Colony. If you found it helpful, be sure to drop a comment down below, leave a like if you enjoyed the episode, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I plan on putting out a bunch of Astro Colony videos here, play through the series for a while and try to get through the end of the game. I only have a few achievements left, so I wouldn't mind getting the rest of the achievements at some point, and this might be the game that we do it. That way I can show you how it's done. Or maybe give you a methodology you can follow. Something like that. But anyway, guys, be sure to subscribe. That way you get notified or so you can keep track of the progress on our Astro Colony playthrough this time around. And if you like other gaming content as well, I do play other games. The videos are on my channel. But guys, this has been Lone Debater 7. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. And until next time, we will see ya!